You're watching Mirror 7 News. Stay informed, stay ahead for more news.
It's a story that haunted Montreal for nearly 2 decades. One of those chilling, unsolved cases that people never really forget. Back in December 2008, a young woman named Daviau was brutally killed in her apartment in the Rosemont neighborhood. She was only 26 years old. Her death shocked the community, not only because of the violence of the crime, but because for years, no one knew who was responsible. Catherine had returned home from work on December 11th when the unimaginable happened. She was sexually assaulted, tied up, and murdered. To make matters even worse, her killer set her apartment on fire, likely to cover his tracks. When her body was discovered, the front door was locked, which suggested from the very beginning that she probably knew her attacker. Investigators never believed it was the work of a serial predator, but the case still went cold. For 17 years, her family and the community lived without answers. The Montreal police, the SPVM, never really stopped investigating though. Over the years, they turned to emerging forensic tools, including DNA phenotyping. That's a technique where a suspect's physical traits, like skin color, eye color, hair, even ancestral background, can be predicted from DNA. It helped narrow down lists of potential suspects, but at the time, it still wasn't enough to close the case. Now, after nearly 2 decades, the breakthrough finally came. Investigators turned to genealogical DNA databases, the kind that can trace family connections. A relative of the suspect, who had absolutely no involvement in the crime, appeared in the system. From there, detectives were able to trace it back and identify the man responsible. What's eerie is that this man had already been questioned by police back in 2008. He had even been to Catherine's apartment once before, reportedly under the pretense of visiting it as a potential rental. At the time, he had an alibi that checked out, so he was ruled out. But DNA doesn't lie. Investigators recently confirmed the match by exhuming his body, since the suspect had died in the years following the crime. Through forensic testing, it was determined with certainty that he was indeed the killer. Because he is no longer alive, there will never be a trial or a chance for him to answer in court. Still, the resolution brings a measure of closure to a case that remained an open wound for Catherine's loved ones. The SPVM is expected to formally announce the results in a press conference, underlining how persistence, science, and time eventually brought the truth to light. It's not the ending anyone would have hoped for back in 2008, but after 17 years of silence, Daviau's story has finally been given an answer. Stay subscribed for more videos.